taken road rage to the sidewalks. A woman is lucky to be alive after she was pushed into the path of an oncoming bus by an unknown jogger in West London. The 33-year-old victim was walking on the Putney Bridge at about 7:40 a.m. on May 5th when she encountered a male jogger who was approaching from the opposite direction. Instead of simply getting out of her way, the jogger pushed the woman, sending her flying into the road, landing just inches away from an oncoming bus. Fortunately, the bus driver was able to avoid running the woman over with some quick maneuvers behind the wheel. The jogger ran off, while some passengers got off the bus to rush to the woman's aid. What's really crazy is that the jogger came running back across the bridge about 15 minutes later, while the victim was still being helped. And although she tried to speak to him, he completely ignored her and continued on his way. London police are now hunting for the jogger and are appealing to the public for any information about the incident. Don't let YouTube ad bots dictate what TomoNews reports. Support us at patreon.com/TomoNews. Lots of crazy can go down during a simple jog.
Woman attacked by rabid raccoon drowns it in a puddle. A young woman's beautiful day in the woods was hijacked by a rabid raccoon with an insatiable thirst for blood. On June 2nd, 21-year-old Rachel Borch was jogging through the forest when she caught sight of a woodland creature who just didn't look right. The next thing Rachel knew, a maniacal raccoon was bounding toward her like the Tasmanian devil. She held out her hands to protect herself as the raccoon lunged forward and sank its teeth into her thumb. Panicked and in pain, she glanced over to see a puddle nearby. Holding a firm grip on the raccoon, she plunged it into the water and held it under until it stopped moving. Rachel then rushed to the nearest hospital to seek treatment. The raccoon's body was later recovered and did indeed test positive for the rabies virus. Having now received several injections, Rachel, who happens to be a vegetarian, is expected to stave off the violent infection. Left untreated, rabies does carry a 100% rate of fatality. According to the CDC, raccoons, marked in red, account for more than 30% of rabies cases, and most of them reside on the East Coast. Only 1 to 3 humans in the US contract rabies each year, but even still, it's probably best to keep your distance, just in case. Female jogger fights off rapist in bathroom stall. A woman in Seattle out for a run got the shock of her life when she was ambushed and attacked by a convicted sex offender in a bathroom stall. But rather than be paralyzed by fear, she decided to fight back with everything she had and let out a badass battle cry to boot. On March 12th, 36-year-old Kelly Herron was 4 miles into a marathon training run when she made a pit stop for a bathroom break. As she was drying her hands, she felt a strange presence behind her, and within seconds she'd been knocked to the floor, getting punched in the face by a predator. Herron tried to run into a bathroom stall, but the crazed man wouldn't let her get away, following her in and striking her repeatedly. Having just taken a self-defense class days before, Herron's survival instincts kicked in as she screamed out, "Not today, mother." Capitalizing on the adrenaline rush, she struck back while also clawing his face before escaping out of the stall. Luckily, a biker came by to help trap the deviant inside. 40-year-old Gary Steiner had a warrant out for his arrest for failing to register as a sex offender, having previously been convicted of sex abuse and indecent exposure in Arizona. When police showed up, he reportedly said to them, "Kill me. No such luck, m." Shortly after her ordeal, Herron took to Instagram to report what had happened. That squiggly red line on that map is actually her GPS tracker going berserk. Steiner has been charged with second-degree attempted rape and reportedly told detectives he'd entered the bathroom with the intention of raping a woman. But to that, Kelly Herron, now somewhat of a heroine figure, simply explains, "Not today, mother."
Think roos are cuddly? Think again. A personal trainer in Melbourne had to have emergency surgery after being brutally mauled by a large male kangaroo. Debbie Urquhart was jogging through a bush track in Templestowe Saturday morning and completely missed the threat that was coming her way. From out of nowhere, a fully grown 2-meter-tall male kangaroo jumped out and knocked her down. It kicked and clawed at her ferociously, ripping both clothes and flesh. The 54-year-old played dead to try to get the roo to stop attacking. Fortunately, it worked and the big boy backed off. Urquhart got back up and walked half a kilometer back home while bleeding from her injuries. She was rushed to the hospital and ended up getting over 35 stitches. While the harrowing encounter hasn't slowed Urquhart down, she says she probably won't be going near the tracks anytime soon. Hey Tomo Sapiens, help us beat the ad bots by joining our Patreon news squad at patreon.com/TomoNews. Jogger's naked body found with burn wounds. Police are investigating the death of 27-year-old Google employee Vanessa Marcotte as a homicide after her naked body was found with burn wounds on Sunday night. Marcotte was at her mother's home in Princeton, Massachusetts on Sunday, before she went for a jog at around 1 p.m. Police say Marcotte's body was found in woods around half a mile from her mother's home, and that she was found naked with burn injuries. Her hands, feet, and head all had burn wounds. Police are also investigating the possibility that she may have been sexually assaulted. The incident follows a similar death of a jogger last week in Queens, New York. There, 30-year-old Karina Vetrano was reportedly raped and murdered. Police are looking for suspects in both cases.